Few minutes early on us tonight. For Columbus at left end, Leslie Cohn, 170-pound senior. The left tackle is Tommy Fowler. He weighs 225, a junior. The left guard is Ray Duncan, a senior weighing 205. At center is Bill Conger, a senior at 185. The right guard is Hill Feinberg, a senior at 195. Right tackle is Bob Murray, senior at 195. And the right end is Steve Brown, a junior at 188. Now time is back in. Over the ball comes Conger, calling signals his best. Best fakes to one back, hands the ball in to the left halfback Pennington, and Pennington driving up the middle for about 5 yards out to the 45-yard line. And there he's dropped by Chicky George along with Richard Robinson on the tackle for Glynn at the 45. It is now third down and 2 yards to go. Columbus has picked up 2 first downs all along the ground from the Blue Devils 13 out to the 45. Now the pro set formation, handoff to Pennington, and Pennington knifes his way over the left side for the first down, out to the 48-yard line. He picks up 3 on the play, and the Blue Devils have their third first down of the game. Rickenback, Robinson, and Dave Wooten, the right side of the Glynn Academy defensive forward wall, in to rack him up. Wooten, the middle guard, a junior weighing 155. Well, they call time now to measure the gain. From this position, it looks as if he might have picked up the first down. In the Columbus backfield, Verlin Best at quarterback, number 14, a senior weighing 155. Left halfback, Penny Pennington. He's a senior weighing 175. Scored 12 touchdowns this season. It is a first down for the Blue Devils. Bob David, the right halfback, a junior weighing 155. And the fullback, John McCamey, a 180-pound senior, and he's alternating with Benji Hufstetler, a junior who weighs 160. McCamey averaged 3.8 yards per carry during the season. Hufstetler, 5.2. Ball is on the 48, first and 10. Columbus on the Blue Devils 48. Here's Best back to pass. First pass of the night. Long downfield. It is overthrown just slightly. Diving at the Glynn 13-yard line to try to make the reception is number 82, Leslie Cohn, the left end. Johnny Tullis, along with Tash Van Dora and Gary Goss, were back deep defending against the pass. And Verlin Best threw a long one that time. The line of scrimmage, his own 48. And Leslie Cohn, a 170-pound senior at left end, who caught 21 passes during the regular season, dived out at the Glynn 13-yard line. The ball was just off his fingertips. So it's second and 10 at the 48. Here's Best giving off to Pennington, wide around the right side, trying to turn the corner, and he is shoved out of bounds at the 49-yard line along the near side of the field, just in front of the Columbus bench. A gain of a yard. Van Dora and Johnny Crosby, the left outside linebacker for the Red Terrors, boomed him out of bounds just in front of the Columbus bench. Pennington ran out of running room that time as he swung wide to the right. It is now third down and 9 yards to go. The ball is just shy of the 50. On the Columbus side of the field, the 49. So a big third down possession play. 3rd and 9. Here is Best back to pass. Looks, has time, fires over the middle, incomplete. Fine defensive play by Van Dora. And the intended receiver was Steve Brown, number 52, the right end, a 188-pound junior. And Van Dora got there just in time. So it is 4th and 9 at the Columbus 49. No score in the game, first period. Columbus picked up 3 first downs in the march from the Blue Devils 13 out almost to midfield. Now the Blue Devils forced to punt. Penny Pennington kicking from his own 37. Here's the boot, end over end down the field. And a fair catch is called for by Van Dora inside the Glynn Academy 20-yard line. It's on the 18-yard line, 1st and 10, as Van Dora gathers it in on the fair catch. So the Red Terrors go on the offense for the first time in the game. The scoreboard clock shows 6 minutes and 10 seconds left in the opening period here at Lanier Field. Glynn Academy against Columbus, AAA South Georgia playoff game. And the winner will meet the winner of the Avondale-Westminster game next week for the state AAA championship. Now Van Dora calling the plays out of the wing tee to the left, and Tash hands it off to his left halfback, Johnny Tullis, who is stacked up on the 19-yard line after a gain of a yard. He's met by the right side of the line, led by Ron Yarbrough, number 63, and Louis Steen, number 64. Yarbrough, the middle guard, 205-pound senior. Very tough defensive performer. It's 2nd and 9 on the 19. Van Dora gives to Tullis, and Johnny this time, slanting over the right side, drives across the 20 out to the 22. Tullis picks up 3 yards in the play. Tackled by Ray Duncan and John McCamey. McCamey is the roving linebacker, the monster man, as they call him. Very fine defensive player for the Blue Devils. Ball is on the 22-yard line, 3rd down, and 6 yards to go. Here's Tullis in motion to the right. Van Dora swinging out to the right. Behind blocking, turns the corner, comes out to the 21, and there is hit and smothered. He loses a yard. Blocking developed in front of him momentarily, but then the hole closed up in a hurry. John McCamey, number 21, last man up off the pile, 180-pound senior. And he led the charge of Blue Devil tacklers on the play. Ray Duncan in to help out. It's now 4th down and 7 yards to go on the 21-yard line. Back in punt formation is Nick Mavramat, the right end, who pulls out of the line to do the booting. Mavramat kicking from his own 10, bobbles the snap from center, picks up the ball, now running around the right side, comes out to the 20, 25, out to about the 29. He has the first down. Woo! Well, but momentarily looked to be a very bad break for the home team. The Red Terrors turned into a good one as Mavramat picks up the bobbled snap from center on the 4th and 7 punting situation and rambles down the far sidelines for a first down at the 29-yard line. They had 4th and 7. He made 8 yards. It's 1st and 10 at the Glynn 29. Out of the I formation, here's Van Dorn giving off to Johnny Tullis, and Tullis is stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain at the 29. And the Blue Devils, who have had a terrific defensive team all season, allowing an average of only 1.8 yards per rushing attempt, certainly look to be just as outstanding as their press clippings would indicate thus far in the first quarter of this game. Bob Murray, number 74, 195-pound senior, led the tackling that time. Here is Van Dora back to throw, passing to Tullis, and it's complete at the 25. Johnny's out to the 30, 35, and knocked out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
Good effort.
John McCamey along with Bob David, the right side back, in to make the tackle for Columbus. Very fine block that time, thrown by Wayne Lyles, the fullback, in front of Tullis in the pass reception. Ball is spotted on the 38-yard line. It's going to be shy of the first down, though, by a yard. Very happy to have a lot of our listeners in Waycross tonight tuned in to our broadcast from Lanier Field here in Brunswick. Now on the 3rd and 1 play, the handoff goes to the left halfback. And Johnny Tullis has the first down as he knifes his way over the 40 to the 41-yard line. Tullis met at the 41-yard line by the right linebacker, number 61, Hill Feinberg, 195-pound senior, and Louis Steen, number 64, the 225-pound senior right tackle. Glynn, second first down. 1st and 10 on the 41. Van Dora out of the tee calls upon his fullback, Gary Goss, who plunges off the right side for a short gain, perhaps a yard, maybe 2 at the most, out to the 43. Bob Murray, the left tackle, hit him first. So it is 2nd down, 8 yards to go at the 43. No score, first quarter. We have 3 minutes left in the opening period. There's Van Dora back to pass. He fires downfield to Mavramat. It's incomplete at the 45 of Columbus. Danny Sellers, number 15, the safety man, was right alongside Mavramat that time. The Glynn right end defending against the pass at the Blue Devil 45. Sellers is a senior weighing 170. So Van Dora taking to the air lanes again. This time the pass is incomplete. Stopping the scoreboard clock with just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. No score. Glynn has 2 first downs. Columbus has 3. Wing T to the right. Lyles on the wing. Back to pass. Van Dora whips one downfield and almost intercepted. Bob David, number 34, had the ball in his arms at the Columbus 35-yard line, but he dropped it. The intended receiver was the Glynn left end, Chicky George, number 85, one of the Glynn's 4 captains. But George, who had gone beyond David that time, but David jumped high in the air and had the ball in his arms and dropped it. He's the defensive right side back. Danny Sellers at safety, Verlin Best, the left side back of the Blue Devils. And now 4th down coming up, and back in punt formation is Mavramat. And this time Nick will be kicking from just inside the Glynn 30. Sellers and Pennington deep for Columbus. Here's the snap. It's a good one, and Mavramat gets the kick away. High driving kick. Waiting to receive is Sellers, and he gathers it in on a fair catch at the 21-yard line. So the Blue Devils put it in play once again. 1st and 10. Columbus has the ball on the Columbus 21. No score in the game first quarter. 3 first downs to 2 in favor of Columbus as the Blue Devils receive the opening kickoff. Move the ball from their own 13 out to the 49. Then were forced to punt. Glynn picked up 2 first downs out to the 43, then forced to punt. Now Columbus puts it in play on the Blue Devils 21, 1st and 10. Verlin Best, the quarterback, calls upon his left halfback, Penny Pennington, twisting and turning over the middle out across the 23 out to the 24-yard line. Pennington picks up 3 yards in the first down running play, and there he's racked up by Ed Avra, Glenn's left tackle, along with the left inside linebacker, Chicky George, and the defensive left end, Galen Mumford. Mumford, 210-pound senior, who's led her 2 seasons for the Red Terrors, has been an outstanding player both offensively at center and a defensive left end throughout the entire season. It's 2nd and 7. Here's Verlin Best faking the ball to the right halfback, gives it off to his fullback, John McCamey, and McCamey is stopped at the line of scrimmage for no gain, right there at the 24-yard line as he tried to plow right over the middle. The charge of Glynn tacklers led that time by big 245-pound right tackle Chris Rickenbach and the 2 inside linebackers, Nick Mavromat and Chicky George, in to assist. So it is now 3rd down and 7 yards to go on the Columbus 24. Penalty flag goes down. Verlin Best back to pass, fires long downfield, almost intercepted by Vandora at midfield. It was overthrown. The intended receiver was Steve Brown, the right end, number 52. But the pass was overthrown. And now we'll see the nature of the infraction here as the penalty flag was dropped at the line of scrimmage. We have 1 minute, 40 seconds left in the first quarter at Lanier Field. No score in the game. The discussion is with Columbus, or rather with Glynn Academy, we believe. Illegal procedure against Columbus. Glynn declines the penalty. They want the rotation of the down. It's now 4th down coming up. 4th and 7 to go at the 24. The captains tonight for Columbus, Penny Pennington, the left halfback, and the left tackle, Ron Yarbrough, defensive middle guard. Glenn's 4 captains for the regular season. We'll list them in just a minute. Here's Pennington kicking on 4th down. Gets away a beautiful boot, and Vandora calls for a fair catch at the Glenn 30-yard line. Driving kick by Pennington. We mentioned during warm-up time tonight that Pennington has been outstanding throughout the season with his punting. In that Willingham game, he punted out of bounds, dead, or the ball was downed on the 1, 2, 3, and 10-yard lines. Another kick went in the end zone, and only 1 punt was returned on him all night. So Vandora now is called for 2 fair catches, and this time Glynn puts it in play. 1st and 10 on the Red Terror 30. In the I formation. Hand off to Johnny Tullis. He tries the middle of the line, and he is met with very stiff resistance at the 31-yard line after an advance of a yard. Right up the middle, Tullis gains a yard. And plugging the hole is big Ron Yarbrough, the middle guard, along with the monster man, John McCamey, and the left linebacker, Ray Duncan. So it is 2nd down and 9 to go. Chuck Rutland at left end, Bob Murray, left tackle, Ron Yarbrough, the middle guard, Louis Steen at right tackle, and Steve Brown, the defensive right end, the 5-man forward wall for Columbus. And again, Vandora calls on Tullis, and this time Johnny slants over the right side and drives out to the 34-yard line. He picks up 3 yards. Tullis stopped at the 34 by number 74, Bob Murray, the left tackle. Both of these teams in the line average 195. Columbus a little bit heavier on defense in the line. Back to pass, Vandora whips one over the middle, and it's complete. Very fine reception by Nick Mavromat. And Mavromat has the 1st down up to the Glenn 43-yard line. Mavromat is dropped on the 43, tackled by Hill Feinberg, number 61, and the left side back, Verlin Best, number 14, comes in to assist. And now 1st downs are all even, 3 apiece. The clock is running. We have 10 seconds left in the first quarter. No score. Might have time for one more play. Here come the Terrors up to the line. Galen Mumford over the ball, calling signals. Vandora, wing T right. Tullis in motion to the right. Vandora on the option play, driving off the right side across the 45 to the 46. Vandora gains 2 yards in the play before he is stopped. Chuck Rutland and Bob Murray make the tackle on the play, and that is the end of the first quarter with the score, Glenn Academy nothing and Columbus nothing. Now the opening play of the second quarter. Glenn with the wing tee to the left. Here's Vandora back to pass. Fires downfield, incomplete. Johnny Tullis, the intended receiver, at the midfield strike. He was guarded very closely that time by John McCamey, and McCamey helped to break up the pass. Tullis, Glenn's 170-pound senior left halfback, one of the 4 team captains, the others being the quarterback, Tash Vandora, and the 2 ends, Nick Mavromat and Chicky George. It is now third down and 7 yards to go. The ball is just across the 46-yard line. Wing tee to the right. Vandora dropping back to throw. Being chased. He fires downfield, incomplete. He overthrew his intended receiver, Johnny Tullis. And Tullis had broken momentarily in the open that time. Danny Sellers was the closest man to Tullis, the safety man of the Blue Devils. But the pass was off mark. He overthrew him, and also it was a little bit off to the right. Here in the second period, Glynn is moving from our left to our right. That is from the northern goal toward the southern goal here at Lanier Field. And now fourth down is coming up. 4th and 7 at the Glynn 46, and Mavromat is back to punt from his own 32. Sellers and Pennington back in safety for Columbus at the Blue Devil 15. Here's the boot by Mavromat. The ball is gathered in by Sellers at his 15. Comes back to the 20. Sellers is out to the 25. Hit, stays on his feet, and drives to the 28-yard line. And there he's shoved out of bounds far across the field. Here are the Glenn Academy bench. Glenn occupying the bench on the far sidelines. Galen Mumford, Ed Avra, and Chicky George all hit him about the same time. Penalty flag dropped on the play and an infraction against Columbus.
Personal foul.
Personal foul against the Blue Devils. And a 15-yard penalty being stepped off. It is a clipping penalty is now the indication from the official, and the ball is going to be spotted back inside the 15-yard line. They put it on the 13-yard line, so the Blue Devils, for the second time in the first half, will start from their own 13-yard line. They drove for 3 first downs from the 13 back in the first quarter, receiving the opening kickoff. Now they're lining up in the wing tee to the right. Quarterback Verlin Best handing off to his right halfback Bob David, who smashes over the right side, comes out across the 15 to the 16. He gains 3 yards on the play. He's upended by Chris Rickenbach, the right tackle, and the right inside linebacker Nick Mavromat. It is second down and 7 yards to go. No score in the game in the second quarter. And Coach Sam Mitchell sending in a couple of substitutions for Columbus. Best takes, gives off to Pennington. Left halfback in trouble at the line of scrimmage, and Pennington is dropped on the 15-yard line. He fails to gain. Off the right side, he was tackled by Galen Mumford and Chris Rickenbach. And it is now third down and 7 yards to go. The ball is just across the Columbus 15. Possession play for the Blue Devils. They line up in the pro set. Hand off to Pennington over the middle. He is hit hard at the 16-yard line and shoved back across the 15. They will give him forward motion, however, out to the 17-yard line. But it will now be fourth down. Penny Pennington, number 44, 175-pound senior for the Blue Devils, who averaged 4.8 yards per carry this season. He scored 12 touchdowns. Tackled by Mavromat, Cecil Gordon, who's now in there at middle guard, and Ed Avra. Pennington is back in punt formation for Columbus, kicking from the Blue Devils' 7-yard line. Here's the snap, and here's the boot. High kick, and the ball across midfield. A fair catch again called for by Vandora at the 48-yard line of Glynn. First and 10 for the Red Terrors on their own 48. So Glynn is in good field position now as Pennington was forced to kick from his own 7-yard line, the line of scrimmage being the 17 on fourth down. Penalty flag dropped in the last play. Illegal procedure against Columbus, and Glynn declines the penalty. The Red Terrors want that football almost at midfield. So it's on the Glynn 48-yard line, first down and 10 yards to go. Not a bad kick, but certainly not one of Pennington's best. Here come the Red Terrors racing up to the line. Wayne Lyles is flanked far out to the right side. In the I formation now, Van Dora calling the plays. Van Dora gives off to Tullis as he knifes his way over left guard across midfield to the Columbus 49. And Johnny gains 3 yards on the play. John McCamey, the roving linebacker, the monster man, comes on to hit him first. And Pennington moves in to assist on the tackle. Second down and a long 7 yards to go. The ball is just across the 50. Here come the Red Terrors. Mumford over the ball. Calling signals is Van Dora. Tash gives to Tullis a hole over the right side. Johnny finds daylight across the 45, 40, down to the 35. And Tullis is racked up just inside the 35-yard line. Beautiful run by Johnny Tullis, and Glynn is moving toward the southern goal. First down for the Red Terrors, number 4 in the game. Pennington and Verlin Best, the left side back, made the tackle that time. Fine blocking in the offensive line on the right side by the Glenn Academy forward wall. Opened the big hole for Tullis, and Johnny shot through for the first down. It's on the 33, 1st and 10. Out of the T formation, Van Dora calls upon Gary Goss, the fullback, and he drives over the middle for about 2 to the 31-yard line. Is hit at the 31. And again, John McCamey, one of those who racked him up, along with Hill Feinberg, the right linebacker. It is second down and 8 yards to go at the Columbus 31-yard line. No score, second quarter. Johnny Tullis takes the handoff from Van Dora, plows across the 30, and Tullis drives down to the 28-yard line. Gain of 3 yards on the play. McCamey and Ray Duncan making the tackle for the Blue Devils at the 28. Third down, 5 to go. Back to pass. Van Dora looks downfield, fires long to the 5. It's incomplete. Mavromat, the intended receiver, and defending against the pass at the Columbus 5-yard line, Verlin Best, the left side back. Wayne Lyles was also downfield. Mavromat, the intended receiver. The pass was broken up by Best, and it is now 4th and 5 on the Columbus 28. This is Glenn Academy's deepest penetration of the first half. Scoreboard clock shows that we have about 7.5 minutes left in the first half. Here's Chicky George to attempt the field goal. Van Dora holding from the 35. The ball is down. The kick is up. It is wide to the right. No good. George kicked 1 field goal out of 2 attempts this season. That coming in the last game of the regular season in Jacksonville's Gator Bowl 2 weeks ago against Andrew Jackson High of Jacksonville. He kicked a 37-yard field goal. Attempting to kick one this time in the second quarter. The ball was down on the Columbus 35-yard line, but George's kick was off to the right. So the Blue Devils take over now on their own 20, 1st and 10. Best, David, Pennington, and Huffstetler in the backfield. Ball is given off to Bob David. David trying to go wide to the left side, and he is cut down at the 21-yard line after a gain of only a yard. Met by Johnny Tullis, who roamed wide that time. Tullis, the right side back, diagnosed the play, moved in to make the tackle at the 21. Gain of only a yard. It's now 2nd down and 9. No score, second quarter, and thus far it's been a terrific defensive duel. Glenn has 4 first downs. Columbus has 3. Here's Best faking a pass, a handoff on the draw play, and piled up at the line of scrimmage is the fullback, John McCamey, back in there. Richard Robinson hit him first. They give him forward motion out to the 22-yard line, a gain of a yard. It's now 3rd down, 8 yards to go. Chris Rickenbach and Cecil Gordon also in on the tackle for Glenn. Possession play now for the Blue Devils, 3rd and 8 on their own 22. Out of the tee, here's a pitch back to Pennington, wide to the right. He's hit behind the line, stays on his feet, and then drives out to the 24, but not enough for the first down. Chicky George, the left inside linebacker, shot the gap that time and tripped him up, and Pennington finally was dropped by Cecil Gordon at the Columbus 24-yard line. Then Ed Avra and Galen Mumford came in to assist Gordon on the tackle. It is 4th and 6. And the Red Terrors now send 3 men back in a deep safety. Tullis, Goss, and Van Dora at the Glynn 45-yard line. Pennington back to punt from his own 15-yard line. Here's the boot. High driving kick. Going back to receive is Goss at his own 35, and Goss is dropped at the 36-yard line. And the tackle was made that time by big number 63, Ron Yarbrough. Yarbrough hitting Goss very hard at the Glynn 36-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Red Terrors at their own 36, and now there's a timeout on the field with 5.5 minutes left in the first half. The score, Glynn nothing and Columbus nothing.
50 cents, Georgia Seafood Box at $1.50. They feature takeout orders or delivery service. The Georgia Fry House, 1209 Gloucester, dial 265-1194. That's the Glynn Academy Band from across the field, striking up. You're listening to the South Georgia AAA Football Championship Playoff. Glynn Academy versus Columbus here at Lanier Field in Brunswick. Time's back in. Here's John.
1st and 10 for the Red Terrors on their own 36. No score in the game. Here come the Terrors up to the line. Mumford over the ball. Van Dora calling signals out of the eye. Van Dora pitching back to Goss, swinging wide to the left, turns the corner, drives out for 2 yards, and is upended on the 38-yard line. Making the tackle, Steve Brown, number 52, the defensive right end, and also number 21, John McCamey, the roving linebacker. He'll move around either to the left side or the right side, backing up the Columbus line. 2nd down, 8 yards to go at the Glynn 38. I formation, wing I, Lyles in the wing to the right. Van Dora calls upon Tullis. Johnny smacking over the middle is dropped on the 40-yard line. He gains another 2 yards. It's now 3rd down and 6 yards to go. Bob Murray, number 74, the left tackle, and Ron Yarbrough, the middle guard, making the stop for the Blue Devils on that play. Glynn back in a huddle at the 30. The Red Terrors have Van Dora at quarterback, Tullis at left half, Lyles at right half, Goss at fullback. The I formation. Here's Van Dora back to throw. Cocks the arm, fires long. Mavromat downfield. He has it. He might go all the way. And Mavromat is caught from behind inside the 5-yard line. And the Red Terrors are threatening now inside the Columbus 5-yard line on a beautiful long pass and a fine reception by Mavromat. He had eluded the safety man, Danny Sellers, and the side backs, Bob David and Berlin Best, and finally David caught him from behind inside the 5. The ball is on the 3-yard line. 1st and goal to go for Glynn. On 1st down, Van Dora gives to Johnny Tullis, the left halfback, who slants off the right side, and Tullis is stacked up at the 2-yard line. Glynn now has a total of 5 first downs in the game. Ron Yarbrough made the initial contact that time. It's on the 2-yard line. 2nd down, goal to go out of the eye. Van Dora keeps the ball himself, rolls out over the left side for a touchdown. Well, a 57-yard pass play from Van Dora to Mavromat set up the touchdown. Glynn leads 6-0. Van Dora scoring on an option play off the left side. Here's Chicky George to attempt the point. Van Dora holding. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Chicky George, who during the regular season converted on 25 out of 30 extra point attempts, has kicked this one true. And the teams come back down the field. The Red Terrors drive 64 yards for the touchdown, and they score with 3 minutes and 5 seconds left in the first half of the game. Bandora going in from the 2-yard line. And the score now is Glynn Academy 7 and Columbus nothing.
It's grand opening time at Whittle Furniture Company at 1325 Bay Street. And they have some tremendous door prizes that you'll want to register for. They'll be having a drawing for those on December 24th, including a 19-inch portable TV, a phonograph, and a radio, and other items. All you have to do is register. And great as Glynn now leads 7-0 over the Blue Devils from Columbus in the South Georgia Playoff Championship.
Now here's the kickoff by Chicky George down the field. A short kick bouncing down to the 15-yard line. Pennington picks it up, comes back to the 20, out to the 25, the 30. Pennington drives to the 35 and is dropped as he moves across the Columbus 40-yard line. Met by Rod Schaefer, number 12 of Glynn Academy. He's the second-string quarterback behind Bandora. Doesn't have an opportunity to see too much action on offense, but he's in there on defense. Ed Averill and Cecil Gordon assisting Schaefer on the tackle. Ball is on the 41-yard line of Columbus, 1st and 10. Less than 3 minutes to go in the first half. Glynn leads 7-0. Pro set. Here's a pass thrown by Verlin Best and incomplete. Almost intercepted that time by Gary Goss. The intended receiver was the left end, Leslie Cohn. But Goss had that ball in his arms and couldn't hold on to it. So it is 2nd down and 10 yards to go for Columbus at the Blue Devil 41-yard line. Glynn is leading 7-0. 57-yard long pass play from Bandora to Mavromat as Nicky got behind the deep man, set up the touchdown. Here's Pennington taking the give around the right side, drives out to the 45 and plows forward close to midfield as he is tripped up at the 46-yard line, but he dived through the air to the 48-yard line. Lacks the first down, however. The tackle made by Bandora and Goss. Penalty flag is dropped back at the line of scrimmage. Apparently took a step or so, and a penalty flag was dropped. Whether he actually ran with it or not, after giving the fair catch indication, we're not quite sure. And now a discussion is taking place. Penalty will be stepped off against Glynn Academy. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the infraction from the official as he waves both arms out to the side. So the ball is being placed back inside the 15 on the Glynn 12-yard line. 1st down. Long yardage. Johnny Tullis driving off the left side as he takes the 1st down handoff from Bandora. And Tullis manages to knife his way out for about 3 out to the 15-yard line. John McKamey hit him first. Glynn has long yardage. The Red Terrors will have to move the ball out to the 33-yard line for the 1st down. So it's 2nd down. Ball is on the 15-yard line. Ball taken by Bandora. He keeps it himself as he knifes his way in over the left side, comes out for about 3, maybe 4 yards out to the 19-yard stripe. Steve Brown, the defensive right end, made the initial contact at the 19. Now the clock is running. 45 seconds left in the first half of the game. Glynn is leading Columbus 7-0. As the Red Terrors struck quickly through the air to set up the touchdown. 57-yard pass play. Now they're trying to run out the clock. Bandora gives to Tullis again. Johnny with his knees churning high, driving over the right guard position across the 20 to the 21. He gains a short 2 yards. It's now 4th down. And still about 12 yards to go for the 1st down. Columbus calls time to stop the clock. 17 seconds left in the first half. Ron Yarbrough made the tackle on that last play. And so with timeout on the field, the score, Glynn 7, Columbus nothing.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. WGIG in Brunswick, Georgia.
Nick Mavromat will punt on 4th down for Glynn. Here's a booming kick deep downfield across midfield, and a fair catch is called for by Danny Sellers as he makes the reception just inside the 40-yard line of Columbus at the 39. So the line of scrimmage for Glynn was the 22. And the ball is caught by Sellers at his own 39. Very fine punt by Mavromat. Nicky actually kicked the ball from around the 12-yard line. Now time is called once again by Columbus just to stop the clock with about 12 seconds left in the first half. Here come the Blue Devils up to the line. Back to pass now is Verlin Best. Looks downfield, going for the bomb. Long, way downfield, incomplete at the Glynn 25-yard line. The intended receiver was the left end, Leslie Cohn, number 82. The pass was broken up by Johnny Tullis and Tash Van Dora. Wayne Lyles was also back there. As the Red Terrors are now guarding against the long pass, they'll perhaps give them some short ones with only a few seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. Right now, it looks like about 4 seconds left. The official time, though, is kept on the field. This might be the last play of the first half. Out of the tee, back to pass is Verlin Best, being chased by Rickenback. He throws out of bounds in front of the Columbus bench. Nobody was anywhere near the pass, and that's the end of the first half. By a score of 7-0.
With the teams coming back on the field, let's pause for 30 seconds for our stations along the line to identify themselves and for a quick word from our sponsors. This is the South Georgia AAA Championship Network.
Coastal Chevrolet, the Georgia Fry House, Whittle Furniture Company, and the American National Bank, bringing you the play-by-play description of tonight's game, the South Georgia Championship Playoff, here on WGIG in Brunswick, Georgia. Both teams ready to take the field for the second half of play. Glynn leading 7-0.
Here come the Red Terrors onto the field. Glynn Academy will occupy the northern end of the playing field in this, the third quarter of play, and Columbus will defend the goal to our right, the southern goal, and the Blue Devils will kick off as we start the second half. Columbus tonight dressed out in orange helmets, orange-colored jerseys, white pneumos and white pants, and Glynn Academy in the traditional colors of red and white, red helmets, red pneumos, white jerseys, and white pants. Kicking off for the Blue Devils is George Montgomery, number 89. He does the kicking off. He's a left end, weighs 190 pounds, a senior. Fans are standing now as Glynn is preparing to receive the second half kickoff, leading in the game 7-0. We understand that Avondale is way out in front of Westminster as that ball game is at halftime. Avondale leading in the ball game by a score of 27-7. They are still playing in the first half. It's not quite halftime as yet. And Avondale, the state's number 1 AAA team this season, thus far, just as Avondale was a year ago, leading 27-7 over Westminster. Avondale will play the winner of this game next week for the state crown. Here's Montgomery's kick. It's end over end, rather short. Van Dora takes the ball at the 20, comes out to the 25, tashes out to the 30, and Van Dora is upended at the Glynn 30-yard line. Bob Murray made the tackle for the Blue Devils, number 74, the big 195-pound defensive left tackle of Columbus. Ball is spotted on the 29-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Red Terrors on their own 29. Here they come out of the huddle up to the line. Galen Mumford over the ball. The I formation. Van Dora calls upon Johnny Tullis, who plunges off the left guard position across the 30-yard line for about 2 yards out to the 31. In off the stack last is Ray Duncan, number 65, the left linebacker of the Blue Devils, and also number 21, John McCamey, the monster man, in to assist on the tackle. It's second down, 8 yards to go at the Glynn 31. Red Terrors lead 7-0. In the wing eye to the left, Lyles on the wing. Pitch back from Van Dora to Goss. Goss wide to the left, turns the corner, and drives out for about 2 yards to the 33. And he's cut down on the Glynn 33-yard line. Tackle made by Bob David at the 33. It's now third down and about 6 yards to go. Van Dora back to pass, being chased. He's hit but throws, and it's incomplete at the 40. Pass was a little bit low. Nick Mavromat, the intended receiver, went down to one knee, got his hands on the ball, but couldn't hold it. It was a little bit low, and the pass is incomplete at the Glynn 40-yard line. Number 83, Chuck Rutland, the defensive left end, was putting on a strong rush that time on Vandora, and Tash had to hurry his throw. It was a little bit low. Rutland, a defensive left end, a junior, weighing 195. Now it's fourth down coming up. Fourth and about 6. Back in punt formation, Mavromat kicking from the Glynn 20. Pennington and Sellers deep for Columbus. Here's the boot. Line drive type of a kick. Gathered in by Penny Pennington at his own 30. Comes back to the 35 and plows to the 39-yard line before he spilled. Now the Blue Devils put it in play for the first time in the second half. They have it 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line. Tackle made by Gary Goss and Ed Avery for the Red Terrors. Here come the Blue Devils, spiritedly out of the huddle and up to the line. Over the ball comes the center, Bill Conger. Calling signals at quarterback, Verlin Best. Best gives it off to his fullback. Ball goes to Benji Huffstetler, number 20, and he smacks in over the right side, comes out for a short gain. Across the 40-yard line to the 41, he picks up 3. And there he's spilled by Cecil Gordon and Chris Rickenbach. Second down and 7 yards to go on the 41-yard line of Columbus. Columbus trails 7-0. Here's Best, back to pass, being chased. He's hit, and he spins away, but still he's thrown for a loss on the play. 5 Glenn Academy players were in the Columbus backfield that time. Best was tripped up as he looked downfield trying to find a receiver in the open. Apparently couldn't find anybody in the clear. Gordon hit him first. Rickenbach and Avra assisting on the tackle. Gordon tripped him up. Mavromat and Chicky George, the inside linebackers, also raced in that time. And all 5 of the Glenn Academy tacklers were in on Best. He spun away, but they tripped him up and he went down. Ball is back on the 38-yard line. 3rd and 10. Best back to pass. Can't find a man. Thrown for a loss on the 32-yard line. He was smeared by Rickenbach, Gordon, Avra, and Mumford. And that'll bring on 4th down. Fine defensive play that time by the Glenn Academy defensive forward wall. Richard Robinson also in on the tackle. So just about the entire line, Robinson, Rickenbach, Gordon, Avra, and Mumford hit Verlin Best back to the 32-yard line. A loss of 6 yards. It's 4th and 16. Pennington is punting from his own 20. Here's the kick. Line rushes in, but he gets it away. Ball hits at the Glenn 35 and takes a Blue Devil type of a bounce across the 30 and curls up and rolls dead on the Glenn 26-yard line. Another very fine driving punt by Penny Pennington, the left halfback of the Blue Devils. And it's 1st and 10 for the Red Terrors on their own 26. Glynn is leading 7-0, third quarter. And the scoreboard clock shows 7 minutes and 45 seconds left in the period. Red Terrors lining up in the wing tee to the left. Van Dor at quarterback gives off to Gary Goss, his fullback, and Goss is hit at the line of scrimmage for no gain as he plows over the left side, but he's met there at the 26-yard line. Ron Yarbrough, the middle guard, hit him first, along with the right tackle, Louis Steen, number 64. It is 2nd down and 10. Wing tee to the left. Vandora back to pass. Whips one over the middle, and it's incomplete to Mavromat at the 35. And Nick had the ball hit in his arms, and it bounced away from him, and Danny Sellers almost intercepted it before it hit the ground back at the 35-yard line. But the pass did fall harmlessly to the ground, incomplete. And that brings on 3rd down. So it's 3rd and 10. Possession play for the Red Terrors on their own 26. Wing tee left. Bandora back to throw. Here's a pass out to the left as he swings one out, and it is complete, but a very short gain out to the 29-yard line. Pick up of 3 yards on the play to Johnny Tullis, the left halfback. And Tullis was tackled immediately at the Glenn 29-yard line, far across the field, just before going out of bounds. Tackle made by the defensive right end, Steve Brown, number 52. 188-pound junior, and at 188, he's the lightest player as far as weights are concerned in the Columbus defensive line. Now there's a timeout on the field called for by Glenn Academy. 3rd period, the score, Glenn 7, Columbus nothing.
Time's back in. Here's John.
Fourth down for the Red Terrors, 7 yards to go on fourth down. Nick Mavromat will punt from the Glynn 25, from the 15-yard line. Back in safety, Sellers and Pennington at the Columbus 30. Here's the boot by Mavromat. High driving kick and a fair catch is called for by Danny Sellers at his own 33-yard line. So the third period has now developed into a punting duel between Pennington and Mavromat. Both have gotten off a few good kicks, and we've had a fair catch called for by Sellers at the 33. First and 10 for Columbus on the Blue Devil 33. Glynn is leading 7-0. Wing T to the left. Verlin Best rolling out behind, blocking to the left side, turns the corner, comes out to the 35 and drives to the 39-yard line. He's tripped up on the 40. Nice run that time by the quarterback, Verlin Best, behind good blocking as he rambles for 7 yards, and it's second down, 3 to go. Chicky George and Gary Gus made the tackle for Glynn. Verlin Best scored 4 touchdowns during the regular season. He passed for 6 touchdowns. Best gives the ball to Pennington, and Pennington plows for the first down for 5 yards as he moves straight ahead to the 45-yard line. There he's tackled by George Mavromat and the left side back Tash Vandora. So Columbus has the first down here in the second half. And first downs in the game are all even, 5 apiece. Wing T to the left at the 45. Best calls on Pennington, finds a little hole, and then it closes up quickly as he smacks in over the middle for about 2, maybe 3 yards out to the 48. He was hit hard at the Columbus 48-yard line by George and Mavromat along with Rickenbach. So it's second down and 7 yards to go as Pennington picks up 3. Columbus driving toward the northern goal. We have 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Glynn is leading 7-0. Left end is split out. That's Leslie Cohn. Back to pass is Best. Decides to run. He is hit, stays on his feet, trying to find running room, comes across midfield down to the Glynn 46-yard line before he's upended. Nice run that time by Verlin Best, the quarterback. He was hit by Chris Rickenbach at the Glynn 46-yard line. Bob Murray threw a good block that time for Columbus that paved the way for Best to pick up yardage. He was hit. Big play for the Blue Devils. 3rd and 2 on the Glynn 46. They call on Pennington, and Pennington has the first down. He fumbles a loose ball, and let's see. Columbus recovers. Columbus recovers the ball, and it is enough for a first down. Ray Duncan, the left guard, number 65. 205-pound senior, pounced on top of that loose football that time. It looked as if Glynn might recover. The ball bounced away, and 3 Columbus men were grabbing for it, and Duncan got it. So Columbus has first down, number 6. It's 1st and 10 on the Glynn 44. Ball is given off to Pennington again. Pennington knifing his way over right guard across the 40, down to the Glynn 38-yard line. As Pennington picks up 6 yards, and it's second down, 4 to go. He's met by Cecil Gordon and Chris Rickenbach. Now there's a timeout on the field called for by the official for an equipment adjustment now. One of the Columbus players, that's Pennington, tying his shoelace, so it might be just a very brief timeout. Scoreboard clock shows 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter. Now the whistle blows and time is back in. The Blue Devils back in a huddle at the Glynn 45. Red Terrors digging in on defense now. Columbus driving Goldwood toward the northern goal, trailing 7-0. Second down and 4 to go at the Glynn 38. T formation, handoff from Best to Bob David, his right halfback. David picks up a couple of yards down to the 35-yard line. Make it a gain of 3 yards by Bob David, and it's now 3rd and a yard to go at the Glynn 35. Nick Mavromat, Richard Robinson, the defensive right end, and Ed Avra, the left tackle. And to drop him at the 35. 3rd and a yard. It's a long yard at the Glynn 35. Over the ball comes Conger, the center. T formation. Best calls on Pennington. Pennington has the first down. As he bucks over the right side for about 2, maybe 3 yards, he's close to the 32-yard line. Ball is now spotted on the 33-yard line. They call time to measure the game. Chicky George, Tash Vandora moving in from his left side back spot. In on the tackle that time of Penny Pennington at the Glynn 33. And now the chain is being brought out to measure. Glynn is leading 7-0 here in the third quarter. 2.5 minutes left according to the scoreboard clock in the third period. Here comes the chain in. Good crowd on hand tonight. A lot of fans standing. It is a first down. That is first down number 7 for the Blue Devils. Glynn has 5, all in the first half. Columbus has the ball in the Glynn 33, first and 10. Red Terrors with Mumford, Avra, Wooten, Rickenback, Robinson across the line, digging in now, trying to stop this march. Wing T to the right. Best pitching back to Pennington, wide to the right. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, no gain, as he could not get outside that time. Fine defensive play for Glynn Academy. Johnny Crosby, number 43, Tash Vandora, and Chicky George all hit him at the line of scrimmage for no gain at the Glynn 33. So it is second down and 10 yards to go. Clock is moving, less than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Blue Devils up to the line of scrimmage. Now the pro set, flanker to the right. Best on a pass over the middle, complete to David at the 30. Bob David down to the Glynn 25 and out of bounds at the Red Terror 23-yard line. Good enough for another Columbus first down. Johnny Crosby pushed him out across the way. And first down number 8 for the Blue Devils, as Verlin Best completes a pass to his right halfback, Bob David. David scored 3 touchdowns during the regular season. Pennington led the team with 12, and Best scored 4 times. Columbus not a high-scoring team, great defensive team. First and 10 on the Glynn 23. Best rolling out to the left, turns the corner, comes to the 20, 15, hit, stays on his feet, and finally out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Richard Robinson, the right end, followed up the play, shoved him out along with Van Dorr, the left side back. Ball is inside the Glynn 15-yard line. They mark it the 14-yard stripe. So it is second down, a yard to go at the 14-yard line. Glynn leading 7-0. Columbus on the march. Now the T formation, handoff to Pennington. He has the first down, spinning over the middle across the 10, drives down to the 7-yard line. Fine second effort by Penny Pennington, the left halfback of Columbus, and he has a first down and goal to go at the Glynn 7. Johnny Tullis and Nick Mavromat finally dump him. 1 minute, 5 seconds left in the third quarter. First and goal at the Glynn 7. Here come the Blue Devils up to the line. T formation. Best takes. He fumbles the snap. A pile up. He, however, recovers his own fumble. Back on the 8-yard line, he loses a yard. 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Second down and goal to go at the 8. Glynn is in front, 7-0. Columbus back in a huddle at the Red Terror 15. Red Terror scored in the second quarter. Third period is almost history. Blue Devils are threatening to get right back in the game now. Here's the straight T. Best fakes a handoff to Pennington, fades the pass, being spun around and thrown for a loss on the 14-yard line.
Oh, no!
And a penalty flag goes down on the point of tackle. Richard Robinson grabbed Verlin Best that time by one arm and spun him around. Chris Rickenback came in to help out on the tackle, and on that tackle, the red handkerchief was dropped by the official. We have 10 seconds left in the third quarter.
Favorite plays on the other side, Jerry.
Personal foul against Glynn Academy. Half the distance to the goal. Ball is moved to the 6-yard line, where it is still goal to go, second down. Best gives to Penny Pennington, and Pennington plows to the 5-yard line, gains only a yard. That should be the final play of the third quarter. Ball is on the 5-yard line, third down, and goal to go for Columbus. Glynn is in the lead. There's the whistle. That is the end of 3 periods of play. Rickenback and Robinson made the tackle of Pennington on that last play. The score after the third quarter, Glynn Academy 7, Columbus nothing. Ball is on the 2-yard line. It is fourth down and goal to go for Columbus. Glynn is in front by a score of 7-0. And we have only 25 seconds having elapsed in the fourth quarter. Well, we hate to give it up right now because it might be a brief timeout and such a big play coming up. We'd better stay right here with it. In case you tuned in late, the Red Terrors scored on a 64-yard drive in the second quarter. The big play, a 57-yard pass from Van Dora to Mavromat down to the 3-yard line. 2 plays later, Van Dora went in from the 2, and Chicky George kicked the extra point. That has been all the scoring in the game thus far. This is the deepest penetration by Columbus tonight. And the Blue Devils now have assumed the lead in first downs in the ball game by a count of 8-5. They have picked up 4 first downs here in the second half to go with 4. Time is back in. The Blue Devils back in a huddle at the 15. Race out of it up to the line. This is the big play. It's on the 2. Fourth and goal to go. Glynn digging in on defense. Here's the play. Back to pass is best. He's being hit. He's thrown on the 5-yard line. Chris Rickenback, defensive right tackle, and the right inside linebacker, Nick Mavromat, threw Verlin Best for a 3-yard loss as he looked to pass, and he was dropped on the Glynn 5-yard line. And the ball goes over on downs.
And John, what a game this is. What a game. The South Georgia AAA Championship playoff. John?
Now the first down running play for Glynn. Van Dora calls on Johnny Tullis. He goes wide to the left, swings around the corner, and comes out for perhaps 2 yards to the 7. Bob David upends him on the Glynn 7-yard line. It's second down and 8 to go. Glynn is still leading 7-0. Fourth and final period of the game. And we still have a lot of time left. Flanker out to the left side for the Red Terrors. Out of the tee, Van Dora on the option play. Keeps the ball himself. Outside of right tackle, gains maybe a yard. He's hit on the 8-yard line. Bob Murray, the left tackle of Columbus, hit him first at the 8-yard line. So it's now third down. Red Terrors trying to find running room, trying to move that ball out of the danger spot. 3rd and 7. Glynn leading 7-0. Van Dora calls on Tullis. Johnny driving with his knees turning high over the right side, but he's met right there at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the 8-yard line. Ray Duncan, left linebacker, hit him head on, pushed him back. Tullis hard to bring down, but Duncan slowed him up. And it's fourth down. So Glynn will be punting. Mavromat will kick deep in the end zone. 2/3 of the way back in the end zone. Sellers and Pennington deep for Columbus. Here's the snap. The line rushes in. He gets the kick away. Nice kick. Ball hitting across the 40. Takes a reverse spin. Goes back across the Glynn 35 and finally is down on the Red Terror 33-yard line. Gee, a real tough break on that bounce for the Red Terrors as the ball hit across the Glynn 40 and then took a spin back toward the Glynn goal of about 7 yards before it was downed on the 33. Ralph Hicks grabbed the ball quickly for Glynn, but not before it had bounced about 7 yards back downfield, but it bounced there in a hurry. First down for the Blue Devils on the Glynn 33. Wing tee to the left. Best calling the signals. Best calls upon Pennington. Pennington smacks straight ahead for perhaps 2 yards to the 31. We're at second down and 8 yards to go. Chris Rickenback, number 71, playing a terrific ball game for Glynn tonight.
You can tell what he had back there.
Last man in off the pile as he hit the ball carrier first. Pennington gained 2. Timeout on the field with the score, Glynn Academy 7 and Columbus nothing. minutes ago when Rickenback and Robinson made that crucial fourth down tackle of Verlin Best. Line of scrimmage was the 2. He went back to pass, and they dropped him on the 5 and took over on downs. Back to pass again is Best. Here's a swing pass to Pennington out to the right behind the line of scrimmage, and Pennington is upended on the 31 for no gain. Fine pursuit that time by the Red Terror defenders. Johnny Crosby, the left outside linebacker, Chicky George, and Ed Avra all hit Pennington at the 31-yard line. As Verlin Best swung a pass out to the right side to Pennington behind the line of scrimmage, he caught the ball and got back to the 31. So it is again fourth down, 4th and 8 to go. And the Blue Devils will go for it, of course. They trail 7-0. They fake a handoff to David. Back to pass is Best. He throws, and it's complete. To his left end, Leslie Cohn, inside the Glynn 25-yard line. Penalty flag was dropped behind the Columbus backfield back at the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Johnny Tullis at the Glynn 23. Verlin Best passing to Leslie Cohn, his left end, complete to the Glynn 23-yard line. Illegal motion, the infraction against Columbus, and now time is called to measure the gain. This will decide for Glynn Academy whether to take the down or take the penalty. If it is not a first down, the ball goes over on downs. If it is a first down, they will take the penalty, of course. So the chain is being brought out to measure. If you hear a big roar go up, you'll know it was not a first down. It was not a first down. And the ball goes over on downs to Glynn. They missed it by about the length of the football. On the Glynn 23-yard line. Very close to it, but not quite good enough. The tackle was made of Cohn on the 23. Glynn takes over 1st and 10. Wing eye to the left. Van Dorn gives the ball to Johnny Tullis, his left halfback, who plows over the left side for a yard to the 24. Then he shoved all the way back beyond the 20. Ron Yarbrough, the middle guard, hit him first. This Yarbrough, one of the outstanding defensive linemen in the state, 205-pound senior. And the Blue Devils have a real tough line. Glynn has not made a second half first down, but Glynn leads 7-0 on the scoreboard. Van Dorn back to throw. Now decides to run, but he's hit behind the line, back on the 20. He loses 4 yards. Louis Steen, number 64, and also Hill Feinberg, number 61, made the stop for the Blue Devils at the Glynn 20, where it is now 3rd down and 12 yards to go. We have 6.5 minutes left in the football game. Glynn is leading Columbus 7-0, having scored back in the second quarter. Van Dorn fading the pass on 3rd down. Whips one over the middle, incomplete. Bob David, the closest defender to the ball, but the pass was thrown low, intended for Wayne Lyles. Up at the 40-yard line. Now we have a punting situation. 4th down coming up. 4th and 12 for the Red Terrors on their own 21. Second half has seen the game develop into a punting duel, and we've had some beautiful kicks by both Pennington of Columbus and Mavromat of the Red Terrors. Mavromat now will boot this one from inside the Glynn 10. He's standing on the 8-yard line. Here's the snapback. It's a good one, and the line rushes. He gets the kick out of there. A high driving kick. This one across midfield, hitting at the 48, rolls to the 45, rolls to the 40, and picked up by Wayne Lyles on the, by Ed Avra on the 39-yard line. Avra downs the ball for Glynn on the Columbus 39. Now the Blue Devils are starting further back downfield than earlier. They have it on their own 39, 1st and 10. They trail 7-0. South Georgia AAA football championship game at Lanier Field in Brunswick tonight. Straight tee, back to pass is Best. Fires has the man in the open, but he overthrows him out to the left side at midfield, just beyond midfield. His left end, Leslie Cohn, was out there in front of the Glynn bench far across the way, but the pass was off target, as Best threw it a little bit long and also wide to the left. He almost threw that one out of bounds. So it is 2nd down and 10 to go at the 39. Verlin Vest, during the regular season, threw 48 completions and 103 attempts, 6 touchdowns. He gained 680 yards passing. Here's another pass, long, downfield, way down there. He has his receiver. He'll go all the way for a touchdown. Leslie Cohn, the left end, got behind the Glynn safety man that time and goes all the way for a Columbus touchdown as he caught the pass on the run at the Glynn 25-yard line. And the score is 7-6 as Columbus quickly and suddenly has struck for a touchdown here in the 4th quarter. And that play covered 61 yards. Now the all-important extra point attempt. Gary Goss was the deep man for Glynn, and he let Cohn get behind him. Here's Mike Barker to attempt. The ball is down. The kick is up. It is good to tie it up 7-7. So there's a timeout on the field. The scoreboard clock shows 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the football game, and the score now is all tied. It's Glynn Academy 7, Columbus 7.
The Georgia Fry House at 1209 Gloucester Street. One of our fine sponsors bringing you Glynn Academy football. And tonight, the South Georgia Championship playoff. At Georgia Fry House, you'll enjoy such delicious treats as 2 deviled crabs with coleslaw, hush puppies, and French fries for $1.25. The Georgia Seafood Box with fried shrimp, fish, deviled crab, and other items at $1.50. The Georgia Fry House, 1209 Gloucester Street. All tied up here at Lanier Field. Glynn 7, Columbus 7.
George Montgomery kicking off for Columbus. The ball received by Van Dora on the Glynn 20. Tags brings it back to the 30, and there he's hit and dropped on the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Red Terrors, who now are tied 7-7. The game will be determined on penetration if the game remains tied. Van Dora passing to Tullis, incomplete, up at the 35-yard line. Ray Duncan was over there defending along with Verlin Vest. Well, we've had a couple of long pass plays in this game that have been determining factors. The 57-yard pass from Van Dora to Mavromat back in the 2nd quarter, setting up Glynn's touchdown. And the 61-yard pass a moment ago from Vest to his left end, Leslie Cohn, along with Mike Barker's extra point, tied up the game for Columbus. We believe right now, though, we'll have to check officially that Columbus would be in front on penetration. Van Dora back to throw, whips one downfield, almost intercepted by Sellers. Danny Sellers at midfield had the ball in his arm and dropped it. Steve Brown, the defensive right end, put on a good rush that time on Van Dora. I believe he might have hit Tash just about the time he let the ball go. And the pass was way off target, almost intercepted. 4.5 minutes left in the game. 7-7 is the score. Glynn has not had a first down here in the 2nd half. Shotgun formation. Van Dora back to pass. Being hit, but he throws. Incomplete. At the 40-yard line, Mavromat, the intended receiver, Nick could not make the catch. And it's now 4th and 10 at the Glynn 31. Brown and Rutland, that time chasing Van Dora. Tage was hit, but he spun away and got the pass off. Mavromat leaped high in the air, but could not make the catch. Mavromat will punt on 4th and 10, kicking from the 20. Line of scrimmage, the 31. Sellers and Pennington deep for Columbus across midfield. Here's the boot. High kick to the 40, bouncing out of bounds in the vicinity of the Columbus 40-yard line. It goes out on the 41. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils on their own 41. Score tied 7-7. We might explain that on the penetration system, if the score is tied at the end of the game, the determining factor on the winner in Georgia playoff games will be first downs, total yardage, and whichever team was inside the other's 20-yard line the most times. And we feel pretty sure that Columbus would be leading. Penalty flag goes down. Along the line of scrimmage as Verlin Best gives off to Penny Pennington, who drives over the left side, comes out for about 3 yards to the 44-yard line. There he's spilled by Galen Mumford, Chicky George, and Nick Mavromack. 5-yard penalty stepped off against Columbus for offsides. Moves the ball back to the 36, where it's first down and 15 yards to go. Coach Sam Mitchell of Columbus has been alternating fullbacks throughout the game. He now has John McCamey back in, replacing Benji Huffstetler at fullback. Pennington and David, the halfbacks, and Best at quarterback. Best pitching back to Pennington, behind blocking, wide to the right, turns the corner, comes out to the 40, and Pennington is hit out of bounds at the 43. Along the near sidelines, tackled by Van Dora and Mavromet at the Columbus 43, where it's now second down and 8 yards to go. And Pennington has not gotten up as yet. He's out of bounds in front of the Columbus bench, and he's still down on the ground, and we have a timeout on the field. So there's timeout on the field called for by Columbus. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left in the football game, and the score is Glynn Academy 7 and Columbus 7. Now third down. Best is going to pass. He fires long and overthrows the intended receiver. That's Leslie Cohn, the left end, who caught that touchdown pass a moment ago. This time, Best passes down to the 25-yard line, but a little bit too long. Goss and Tullis were back there. Leslie Cohn made a fine reception of that touchdown pass as he got behind Gary Goss. Goss was almost right up with him, but he grabbed the ball on the run just out of the reach of Goss. Goss is not too tall. Cohn had that advantage on him, and that perhaps was the difference. Cohn, who caught 21 passes during the regular season, scoring on a 61-yard pass and run play with less than 6 minutes to go in the game, tying it up as Barker kicked the extra point. Barker was 20 out of 27 on conversion attempts during the campaign. Both of these teams have fine extra point kickers. The penetration rule is now being explained to the fans here at Lanier Field over the public address system, as we mentioned earlier. And, of course, that is being kept by one of the officials designated for that job up here in the press box. So for it to be official, we will just have to wait until the conclusion of the game and then check with that official.
2 minutes. I do it again.
We have just over 4 minutes to play. 4 minutes and a couple of seconds, according to the scoreboard clock. Score tied 7-7, but right now we would guess that Columbus would be in the lead on penetration. Blue Devils do lead in first downs. They have also put up the most serious threat other than the touchdown scored as they advanced the ball down to the 2-yard line on an earlier occasion just prior to the touchdown. That is, prior to that touchdown pass. Glenn stopped them at the 5-yard line on that drive and then punted out, but the 61-yard pass and run play has tied up the game. Now the Blue Devils come up to the line of scrimmage, their own 43, third down and about 8 yards to go. Best is back to throw. Whips one over the middle, complete to his right end, Rutland. And Rutland has it for the first down in Glenn territory at the Red Terror 42-yard stripe. He's met by Van Dora and Crosby. And the clock is moving. 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. And the Glenn fans a little bit silent right now as the Blue Devils have tied it up and apparently are in the lead on penetration. And they have the football at the Glenn 43, first and 10. Ball given off, driving over the right side, moving for good yardage down to the 35-yard line. Carrying the football for Columbus is Danny Sellers, and he's finally stopped by Cecil Gordon and Galen Mumford as he scampers for about 7 yards on the play. Ball is just across the 35. Second down, 3 yards to go. Now the straight tee. Ball goes to McCamey, the fullback. With his head down, he plows through over the middle for the first down, across the 30, down to the Glynn 27-yard line. And the Blue Devils have a first down. Mavromat, Tullis, and Van Dora make the tackle for Glynn. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game. Columbus is driving toward the southern goal. Score tied 7-7. Ball given off to McCamey again, the fullback, as he plunges over right guard down to the 25-yard line, inside the 25 to the 23. Gain of 6 yards in the play. Second down, 4 to go. Mavromat and Rickenbach in to stop him that time. John McCamey, the fullback. Verlin Best out of the wing tee to the left gives off to Danny Sellers, running from left halfback now, and Sellers is cut down, tackled around the ankles at the 22-yard line. He advances the ball a yard. Chicky George made the stop, along with Ed Abra. We have exactly 2 minutes left in the contest. And a timeout on the field with the score, Glynn 7, Columbus 7.
Coastal Chevrolet at 1004 Gloucester Street. Chevrolet and Oldsmobile Sales and Service Headquarters invite you to bring that car in and let them check it over. Get it all set for the winter months ahead with complete service at Coastal Chevrolet. From trim work to radiator, front-end alignment, wheel balancing service, all of these can be taken care of at Coastal Chevrolet at 1004 Gloucester Street. Coastal Chevrolet, the Georgia Fry House, Whittle Furniture Company, and American National bringing you tonight's game. Time's just about back in the South Georgia AAA Championship playoff game. With about 2 minutes to go. Clock's running. Here's John.
Now third down and 4 yards to go at the 22-yard line. They call on Bob David, the right halfback, as he slants over the left side. Gets to the 20. He lacks the first down by perhaps a yard and a half. Mavromat, Rickenbach, and Avra all hit him about the same time. And the ball is resting on the 20. Fourth down. 2 yards to go. Glynn wants the football. Here's a pass thrown to David, and David has it at about the 18-yard line, and he might have the first down. It'll be close. They call time to measure the gain. David made a fine reception that time. The right halfback, as Verlin Best, swung one out to the right side just across the line of scrimmage, and the tackle was made immediately. And we have time called to measure the gain. 1 minute left in the ball game, and if this is a first down, Columbus can run out the clock. And it is a, let's see, wait a minute. It is not a first down. They missed it by a couple of inches. So there is still hope for the home team as Glynn takes over on downs at the Red Terror 18-yard line. And with only about a minute remaining in the football game, according to the scoreboard clock, the Red Terrors have renewed hope. The score is tied 7-7, but we feel pretty sure that Columbus is ahead on penetration. That will be the determining factor from the official scorer at the end of this ball game if it remains tied after 1 more minute of playing time. Here's Van Dora back to pass. Looking, throws over the middle. It's complete. And Tullis has it. To midfield. Tullis is going all the way. He's in the open. And Glynn will score.
Say anything after a play like that as Johnny Tullis just went all the way for Glynn's touchdown. With only 45 seconds to go, Glynn has broke the tie. What a game this is. This place is bedlam.
Well, Marvin, I guess it would be an understatement to say that Using an old cliche, pandemonium has broken loose at Lanier Field, but it certainly has with 45 seconds left in the game. We have had our third long pass and run play of the night, and the second for Glynn, and the Red Terrors have taken the lead 13-7, as Vandora passes to Tullis for 80.